When I saw the email, the first thing I did was I went to check the name of the person that sent that email to me. So if I see so at click co company, that's so. I'll go and find you on LinkedIn. Don't be surprised you that see my profile. You will see look view your profile. I viewed it, yes.
So essentially, you're telling the audience out there, and I'm just paraphrasing here. If the company stalked you, you should stalk them back.
Yes, now do me, I do you. Do me, I do you.
You don't look so good, man. You don't look so good. Feels like you've had a long day.
Well, what can I say? Things happen, right? Experience is always needed sometimes, and I think it's an opportunity for the viewers out there to also learn from the predicaments, from the problems.
Tell us about this predicament.
All right,
And who
so
caused the predicament?
so I'll say that. Let me first give this to the audience out there. You know, as clients and companies, you know, go through your resume, go through your portfolio, take their time to check you out, you know, before they employ you or before they use your services. You as a creative also have the ability, and it is actually your right to go through these portfolios of the companies, to get to know the companies well, to know the clients well before you accept any job offer or, you know, render service to anybody out there. It's actually your right. It's your right.
So you've just said something very profound. And I'm sure the audience is looking forward to the rationale behind that profound statement. So would you like to tell us about it?
Okay, so I've actually had opportunities working with companies, and there's this particular specific company where they don't like me always mentioning that I've been in the industry for over this years, over that years. But I'll continue to say it because I'm proud of it. I worked hard to get to this point, to know what I know. You know, when I say sometimes I'm so fast when it comes to pro production or post production or visual production, it's because I actually went through it the hard way. So if I tell you that I've been in this industry for a long time, I'm not just trying to be proud. I'm just trying to tell you the fact that this is who I am. You understand? So if you want a solution and you employ me, you get your solution. It's as simple as that. So there's this interview that which I knew that they would, you know, call me for the interview after seeing my application. But I'll give a short story between everything. I saw this interview application online, and I decided to apply for it, knowing that it was a jack of all trade position, which I've been speaking about to a lot of people on my social media handles and everything, telling them that, you know, people want to employ as a videographer, a cinematographer, a post producer, editor, motion graphics, graphic designer. You can even be a driver. They'll tell you now. And you can't quote them wrong because you be in the book, the handbook, they'll tell you that it's quoted in this place that if the company needs your services for some other things, like, and you have to do it. Wow, our motto. Okay. So I applied for the job, and you know, when I got the email from the company saying that congratulations, you've been chosen for this interview session with us, and the first thing I did, which I feel everybody should do, is you need to go and do your own diligence, do your own investigation. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you have the rights. These people took their time to go through your portfolio. They took their time to go through your CV. I used to get so and so viewed my profile on LinkedIn, and it's from that company. So why won't I now go through? So when I went through the profile of this lady, I found out that she was a front desk officer. That sent me an email that, you know, I was to be interviewed some days after, and a front desk officer. So I didn't really judge because she could be the host. You know, there's some interviews where you have the host and then you have the main bodies, the main people that are actually, you know, but as you just like take notes of the whole procedure and everything. So I said, okay, that was fine. So the interview day came, you know, I would say came yesterday. Let me put it like that. Came yesterday. And there was this very interesting thing that happened. I really didn't understand it, but it was really interesting because the first time in my entire life that will ever happen to me. In all the years I've been doing interview, there was this 20 seconds gap between conversations. She asked me, could you introduce yourself? I introduced myself. You talk about your experience in between all those things, your hobbies, you can talk about, where you're from. But the major thing they want to know about is that experience. You understand? I mean, I always start with, I'm a video producer with over 12 years experience in video production, video editing, and so on, so on, so on. So I want you to like me because I am giving you something that you might not be able to get somewhere else. So when I answered the question, she gave me that 20 seconds gap. Everybody was silent. And I was wondering what was happening. Why? I thought it was network. Nigeria can be very funny. So I thought network has gone. So let me just say, sorry, are you there? Then I was about to, then she just replied and said, okay, thank you very much. And she asked the next question. When she asked the next question, I answered. Then that 20 seconds gap again. Then I knew that there was something wrong. It wasn't from my end, it was definitely from that side. Then something that was now very ridiculous happened. She now asked me to talk about challenges, that I passed through in the industry, and how I went around it, how I solved the problem. And being that I've been in this industry for a long time, which I will say again, I have so much experiences, like fun experiences. Everything's always fun at the end because you pass through this, and you get to know the people you are working with. So I explained so many, and I spoke like in details of how the challenges came. The time we had to sleep not in the hotel, we had to sleep outside. How we worked all night, and everything was very, very. I was so happy saying all these things, and when I mentioned all these things, 20 seconds gap again, silence. And I was like, she now said, please don't be annoyed, sir. I didn't get you. Could you please repeat yourself?
She actually said, sir.
Say sir to me.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
I was shocked.
I'm asking myself, interview was clearly longer than 20 seconds. So
yes,
what's with all the 20 seconds pause?
I have a feeling that they gave her a paper. They wrote those questions for her. And they told her that ask this question because there was no time where we had this conversation where maybe when I said, oh, I shot this for the band, I did this for Two-Face Dibia, and then she's like, oh, what project was that? Because now it's because of my response that you respond back to me. You understand? There was not like that. It was more like a plain, tell me this, 20-second silence, tell me about this. So she was just basically taking note. That's what I feel. But when she mentioned that, I didn't know what to do because I would have cut the call. But the professional side of me was like, come on, just continue this interview. You understand? You don't know where it might actually lead. So I said, okay, no problem. So I explained everything again, but I can tell you for a fact, man, it wasn't as sweet as I said it the first time. When I said it, I was even in a hurry. So that 20 seconds that should be silent taking very soon should not be silent. Let her hear quick. And after the interview, she said, thank you very much for your time. If you make it to the next round, we would definitely get in contact with you. I was just coming back to my place and I mentioned it to my spouse and, relatives at home. And I said, that job, I know if you get in English, I'm not going to get that job. I can't get that job because I know what I said. I know how the interview went. Except, the Holy Ghost or something just happened from somewhere. And to my surprise, when I was coming for this interview with you, I got the email saying that congratulations, Mr. Olajide Olaoluwa. You have been selected for the next round of interview.
Well, hold that thought. So what I hear here is important, and not just for the people who are candidates, aspiring videographers or creatives on the field. It is also important for companies to put their best foot forward. Because you never know, maybe that company isn't as bad as it seems. But what they've done is they picked some random person who was unwilling to use our initiative, sorry to say, had no penchant for a stimulating conversation, because once you're doing an interview, it should be back and forth, right? It should be
Yes.
back and forth. It's not a
Yes.
monologue, it's a
Yes.
dialogue.
Yes.
So the company essentially told you as a candidate that this is what will happen when you start working with us.
Exactly. That's exactly what will happen. That is exactly what will happen. There will be a day they will tell me, Mr. Laulua, please, we want you to go and cover this movie premiere. We want you to actually create a TV. And at the end of everything, guess the person they will send to come and monitor me? The front desk officer.
The 20 seconds front desk
Yes.
officer.
And that will go and report that I did not see him with camera. Maybe I will carry the camera 24 hours of my life. That's exactly what will happen. That's exactly what will
Oh
happen.
dear.
So if you were in my shoes, what will you do? Because I don't know. I can't take such offer. But if you were in my shoes, or audience out there, if you were in my shoes, would you go for the second interview? Hmm? You know, a wise man is to say, and that wise man is me because I created this for you. It's better for you to eat a whole food, a very succulent, nutritious whole food once in a day. Why the belly fun? Than eat take it. You know what that means? You are meant to be making 700,000 naira salary. But because you are hungry every second, you want to be making that take him, you end up falling into the I want to use this song, but the guy didn't pay me money for the shake bula. Better wahala at the end. You just end up getting a job that will pay you 150 today. You get tired, you leave that place. Next 2 days, you are spoiling your CV. You go and get another job that is paying you 120,000. Before you would get that job of 700,000, I can guarantee you, you'd have tasted the whole world. And then it might just be too late. And for clients that you know that this client is going to trouble you, is begging you to give you a job of let's say 500,000 naira for a product that you know worth over 30 million naira. But because you know you are a bad guy, you sabi your shortcut and everything, you appreciate it and you took it. Now that client is calling you back and telling you they are not doing the right thing. Or that company is telling you that, Mr. Laolu, you're always complaining that this is your job description. This is not your job description. But meanwhile, is it really your job description? It's not. It was written there. Unfortunately, there's always another clause that says whenever the company needs you for so and so, you must be available. Now you sign them yourself. So think about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining in on this impromptu edition.
Yeah.
And I believe the audience out there have picked one or two key things that should help their career. And I'm talking to the company out there too. You need to do things differently. If you want a great candidate, you have to put your best foot forward.
And also pay them their due diligence money. Pay them what they're worth. They're not cheap.
Thank you for joining this edition.